in its Series A round led by Vertex Ventures. The round also saw participation from existing investors, including Axel, Storm Ventures and Altiria Capital. Tesla posts job offerings on its LinkedIn profile for 13 positions in India days after Elon Musk's meeting with Prime Minister Modi in Washington. Sources say the EV maker is likely to enter India with a low-cost model, which would be launched in the United States later this year. Elon Musk-owned AI company xAI launches Grok 3, an AI chatbot that surpasses its predecessor with groundbreaking capabilities in science, math and creativity. During the launch event, Elon Musk said, and I quote, "We are very excited to present Grok 3, which is, we think, an order of magnitude more capable than Grok 2 in a short period of time," end of quote. OpenAI is considering granting special voting rights to its non-profit board to preserve the power of its directors as the ChatGPT maker fends off an unsolicited takeover bid from Elon Musk, the Financial Times reported. CEO Sam Altman and board members are evaluating new governance measures as the company transitions to a traditional for-profit structure, the report said. Well, those were the headlines we've been tracking for you this evening. On what's brewing today, Kinara AI, formerly known as Deep Vision, has been acquired by NXP Semiconductors, Europe's third largest semiconductor company, in a deal worth $307 million. One of the largest deep tech M&As from India, this acquisition not only highlights the potential of India's AI and semiconductor ecosystem, but also proves that deep tech is ready for investments and exits in India. I have with me Ravi Annavajal, CEO of Kinara AI, and Chinu Senthikumar, managing partner at Xfinity Venture Partners, which has been one of the key investors in Kinara AI, to talk about this deal. Gentlemen, welcome to Startup Street. Ravi, let me start with you. What does this deal mean for the future of Kinara AI? And now with NXP Semiconductors, what is the impact you hope to make? And will Kinara work as an independent entity? What happens to your team?
First of all, Shruti, thank you for having me on your show. Delighted to be here for the first time. We are very excited to be part of NXP. As you mentioned, NXP is the third largest semiconductor company in Europe. What this means for us is that we will get the reach and resources of NXP, beginning with the customer base, which is massive, and as well as all the resources that they have. It'll help us expand our products into a much larger customer base. So we are very, very excited about it. To answer your question about the team and the future of Kinara, we will clearly be part of NXP after regulatory approvals are cleared and after integration is complete, which we expect to have happened in the first half of 2025. And once that occurs, we'll be part of the secure connected edge business line, and we'll be catering to the rapidly growing AI needs of the secure connected edge business line, especially the industrial IoT markets, for which NXP is a big leader in that space.
All right. Chinu, coming to you now, Xfinity has supported Kinara through both Series A and Series B rounds, including the high-profile investment led by Tiger Global. What does this milestone mean for Xfinity? What kind of returns have you made?
So thank you, Srishti, for having me in the show. And, with this return, actually, we are returning 40% of our fund. And
okay.
we'll be touching a DPI of 1. Basically, we'll be returning our entire fund with this exit. We made partial exits earlier also, but this will make us to touch the DPI of 1. And Xfinity has been always in the forefront, looking at deep tech trends well ahead of the curve. And Kinara is one such company we spotted about 5 to 7 years back. And this validates our thesis in the deep tech. And we also played a crucial role helping the company to set up the cost-effective R&D center in Hyderabad. And this also demonstrates frugal innovation in the US-India corridor. And we have many other investments of this kind in the deep tech sector. We are very happy, we are excited, and it's a good exit for the deep tech landscape in India.
Sure. Coming back to you, Ravi, over the years, multiple LPs have questioned whether the Indian ecosystem is ready for deep tech. Now, this deal proves that it is ready for investment as well as exits. Ravi, what are the new partnerships you're building? And if you could also take us through some of the offerings that are in the pipeline.
Excellent question there. First of all, yes, the ecosystem is ready. We are seeing a lot many more deep tech deals happening in the market. Very delighted to see that. In terms of the actual pipeline, what I can give you is a high-level overview. This is a $40 billion market, growing at a 30% CAGR from today to 2028. Clearly it's a very, very hot space. And what I can say is that NXP caters to the industrial IoT and the edge markets in a big way. They have a microprocessor lineup, and we'll be complementing that lineup. For example, we'll be pairing up with their IMX line of processors, creating modules, creating system-on modules, die integration maybe, and maybe in the future, we'll be part of their microprocessors as well as an IP block. And what we are looking to do is cater to the industrial IoT and automotive edge. And a couple of examples here, right? For going back a month, we were at CES and jointly demonstrating a very cutting-edge model called Lava, which is large language and vision assistant model. This combines elements of large language models as well as interpretation of images. So, for example, a video is coming in, you can interpret the video and describe the video using a large language model in real time. And that's the capability we are unleashing. And if you think about it, this has massive implications for industrial markets in terms of safety. Is somebody wearing a hard hat? Is there a slippage? Is the floor slippery? Automotive infotainment, for example, the car manuals will be integrated into the infotainment, directions, etc. Without the assistance of cloud. So these are some of the use cases and sectors that we're going to go after.
All right. Okay, let me go across to Chinu. This acquisition, like I mentioned earlier, is being hailed as a significant proof point for India's AI and semiconductor ecosystem. Chinu, how do you think this deal will influence future deep tech startups and attract more global attention to the Indian tech scene?
So I think if you look at India's landscape, the GCCs, the Global Capability Centers, have been expanding. The skill base has been developed, and it was natural choice. We bring the entrepreneurs together and promote deep tech companies. And Kinara is one such company where we have invested in a US-India corridor company. And we have also several companies of this kind. But this is a great validation for our India's deep tech landscape that the IP creation can be done. And also this is recognized by global players like NXP Semiconductor. And this will encourage more people to invest in this deep tech semiconductor. The second thing is actually what I see is that this also helps India because, like Ravi talked about, this is bringing the edge capability to the AI capability to the edge. Actually, this will promote a lot of applications around edge AI, which is needed in India. Also, it kind of opens up the aspirations for India to think about full stack compute, because I think that's what the goal India wants to get into it actually. And there are multiple things I see from here. The future looks very, very promising in the landscape of AI computing actually.
Okay. All right. On that note, it's time for me to wrap up our conversation. But Ravi and Chinu, thank you so much for the insightful conversation, shedding light on a transformative moment for India's deep tech and semiconductor industries. Thank you so much for your time once again on Startup Street.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Shruti.
All right. Moving on, also on What's Brewing, Apollo 24/7, which is the omni-channel digital healthcare arm of Apollo Hospitals, is all set to leverage the quick commerce boom in India. The healthcare platform launched 2-hour deliveries 5 years ago and had recently launched a pilot project for 19-minute deliveries in select cities. The company is now getting ready to take 19-minute medicine deliveries pan-India. My colleague Parikshit Luthra spoke to Madhivanan Balakrishnan, CEO Apollo 24/7 earlier, who says they plan to roll out the 19 delivery offering in 20 cities by year-end. Take a look.
Tell us, when is this 19-minute delivery program likely to launch pan-India?
So as of now, we are in around 4 cities, the 4 major cities. We expect to roll out across most of the major cities in the country over the next 6 to 9 months.
Okay, and give us a sense of what's been the experience so far of having 19-minute deliveries in 4 major cities. How many deliveries have you made? What has been the total revenue collected through this particular model?
So typically, in a day, we do anywhere between 40,000 pure online deliveries. Combined with the home deliveries that we make from our various retail outlets, it's almost 100,000. Out of this pie, that is 100,000 deliveries per day. Out of this pie, roughly around 20 to 25% of the deliveries happen in the 19-minute segment, which is primarily driven by emergency and acute medicines. So that's in terms of the count. In terms of revenue share, it could be slightly lesser because the ticket sizes when it comes to instant medicine is lower than what you would typically do in any kind of the other medicines which we try and deliver within the same day. Almost 90% of the deliveries are made within the same day.
Could you give me a sense of how many cities would you have covered by the end of 2025?
As of now, from 4 cities, we will roll out immediately to 6 cities, which are the top 6 cities of the country. We intend to roll out the next 4 over maybe 2 quarters and then focus on another 14. So think of it like 6, 4, and another 14. So we will try and cover around 20 cities by the end of this year from a 19-minute perspective. As a proposition, it will be available.
Okay. What is the kind of investment that you've lined up so far on this? What are the hiring plans?
See, typically what does this involve? Unlike the other quick commerce entities, we do not have to depend on an expansion of a dark store. For us, we are an omni model. What does it mean? It effectively means that we have 6,500 pharmacy outlets, which we currently have, which you can pick into. As of now, roughly around the top 100 to 200 outlets, which we call as the prime hub, is where the omni feature works out. So whether it be compliance, whether it be regulation, all of them are very much inbuilt into our process. So from an investment perspective, the incremental investment is effectively in the last mile delivery. And that depends on the kind of orders that we are able to aggregate in the markets that we are launching. So it's what does it mean? We do not depend on variable workforce when it comes to the last mile delivery. Our emphasis is on creating our own captive delivery forces. And that's the investment that we're talking about. The technology, which we have experimented in the top 4 cities, whether it be supply chain, whether it be our ability to demand, manage the demand, build forecasts around it, are reasonably well tested and can be scaled up reasonably well. So from an investment perspective, it wouldn't be such a big cost structure for us.
Well, on the hot seat today, we have electric mobility startup River EV, which is on an expansion drive. It is targeting to open 100 stores across India by March 2026, up from 25 stores by March this year. In a chat with my colleague Ritu Singh, River EV's co-founder Arvind Mani said the company plans to be present in at least 120 cities before its next product launch, which will be a utility scooter. Take a look.
I think we started selling around 12 to 15 months back. Since then, we have sold close to 5,000 vehicles. And last month, we have 12 stores now. So from the 12 stores, we sold 750 vehicles, close to 750 vehicles last month. With that, we are probably at number 10, 11 in the country. In certain markets where we got better distribution, like Bangalore, where we have 4 stores, we are like number 5 last month. So traction's been good. People have been loving the Indy. We are growing slow and steady.
Well, but when you launched, you spoke about market leadership. Are you happy being the number 10, number 11 in the country? And what is the plan to get or break into the top 5?
See, to break, we are a 3.5-year-old company. And for us to sell 5,000 scooters, for us to design and develop a scooter from scratch, set up a manufacturing facility, and sell 5,000 scooters all in 3.5 or less than 4 years is in itself an achievement. We are very happy where we are. So the next phase that we are focused on is to scale up distribution. So the important point, notice that we sold 750 from 12 stores. Now we want to open 100 stores. We'll have 25 stores by March 25 and then slowly scale. So we'll get there. But the focus that we have is to provide the customers the service they deserve for a product that they're buying, right?
Sure.
So we do not sell a product in any place without a service center.
Sure, sure.
Yeah,
You know,
sustained growth.
from 12 stores, you're able to sell 750 units a month. You're expecting to double it to 25 by 2026 March. Should
25 March, 25 stores.
Okay, when you get to those 25 stores, should we expect a doubling in the number of units you're selling, or will that be more
Steadily
exponential?
increasing, right? We've been steadily increasing. Like, for example, October 24, Diwali, we were at around 520. So since then, January became 750. As and when we are opening more stores, we are able to sell more.
Okay. It's been about a year since you last had your fundraise. Are you looking at any, more anytime soon? Are you looking to expand your manufacturing capacity, for instance, which is at 8 to 10,000 units a year currently?
So, see, as I told you, we're less than 4 years old and we've done 4 rounds already. We have raised around $72 million cumulative, the 4 rounds. So we're always fundraising. We are going to hit the market sometime soon, not immediately. We're comfortable where we are. Manufacturing capacity, yes. So, as I told you, the current factory is 8 to 10,000 units a month. We are currently producing 1,000. Now, we will reach that 8,000 units a month by the time we open 100 stores, which will be by middle of 2026.
Yeah.
By the time we want the next factory to be ready, we are already talking to the state governments for sourcing land, securing land, and doing a greenfield construction.
And that'll be in Karnataka as well?
Karnataka is one of the options, and Karnataka is very special to us because we are also the only EV manufacturer who has the R&D and manufacturing inside Karnataka. So Karnataka is very special, but we are also keeping the options open.
All right. Speaking of fundraising, is an IPO anytime in the near horizon for River?
We are still 4 years old. No investors asking us the money back. So we'll take our time and do a proper IPO.
Sure. Lastly, of course, we can see the Indy behind us. What's next in the pipeline? What are you working on?
2026, you will see the second product launch.
Okay.
I can't give you too many details, but it'll still be a scooter within the utility lifestyle space.
Okay.
And so the focus right now is scale up distribution. Right? We need to be present in maybe 100, 120 cities before the second product comes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the idea.
All right, Arvind, and we wish you the best with those plans.
Thank you.
Well, with that, it's time for us to head into a short break. Coming up next, Bengaluru-based electric aircraft startup Sarla Aviation's flying taxi prepares to take off. The startup expects to start flying commercially in the next 3 to 4 years. Stay tuned to get a glimpse of this flying taxi.
All it takes is one. To spark a lifetime of moments that shine. Natural solitaire diamonds from Malabar. Your greatest love story awaits. Go ahead, find your one. Solitaire One. Find your one.
बड़ी बहू ये तुम्हारे नाम। इतनी भी क्या जल्दी थी? अरे और छोटी ये तुम्हारे नाम और ये मेरी गुड़िया के नाम।
पर दादी,
हाँ आपके नाम?
सब कुछ मैंने बैंक, लॉकर, फिक्स डिपॉजिट सब में इन्हें ही तो नॉमिनी बनाया है। कल जब मैं ना रहूं तब पैसे मिलने में इन्हें आसानी हो।
शुभ शुभ बोलो।
क्या? आरबीआई कहता है
जानकार बनिए, सतर्क रहिए।
Web Summit Qatar in association with CNBC-TV18.
लर्निंग का एक नया एक्साइटिंग चैप्टर शुरू होने वाला है। CNBC आवाज लेकर आ रहा है मार्केट गुरुकुल सीजन 2, जिसमें होगा एडवांस करिकुलम। इस वेबिनार में हमारी मार्केट एक्सपर्ट्स की टीम सारे इंपॉर्टेंट टॉपिक्स पर बात करेगी प्रैक्टिकल एग्जांपल्स के साथ। और यही नहीं, मार्केट वेटरन्स आपके साथ शेयर करेंगे अपना एक्सपीरियंस। तो आप भी हिस्सा बनिए इस एक्साइटिंग लर्निंग जर्नी का। इस लिंक पर क्लिक कीजिए और 22 और 23 मार्च को होने वाले इस एक्सक्लूसिव वेबिनार में हमारे साथ जुड़िए।
Welcome back to Startup Street. Bengaluru-based electric aircraft startup Sarla Aviation showcased its electric vertical takeoff and landing or eVTOL aircraft or a flying taxi at the recently concluded Invest Karnataka Summit. eVTOL aircraft is a fully electric flying taxi which will be able to fly for around 160 kilometers on a single charge. The company has currently developed a complete prototype of a 7-seater eVTOL aircraft. My colleague Ritu Singh spoke to its co-founder Rakesh Gaonkar on what to expect. Take a look.
Well, Indian cities and traffic jams, a never-ending love story, right? But what if I told you the solution was not in the gridlock roads on the ground, but up in the air? Well, I'm talking about this machine, this bird that you see behind me, a futuristic air taxi that has been built by Sarla Aviation. Think of it as a cross between a helicopter and a drone, only, larger. It can seat 6 people, quieter and fully electric. It is yet to become commercial, but, to find out when exactly that will happen and how it's going to solve for traffic problems in cities and beyond, I have with me the co-founder of Sarla Aviation, Rakesh Gaonkar. Rakesh, thank you very much for speaking to CNBC-TV18. Start by telling us about this model that we're seeing behind us, what exactly it is.
So what you see behind me is actually a 6-seater, completely electric. 1 year back, we started our journey. It's a Bangalore-based company, basically 100% built in Bangalore, in Karnataka right now. And as I said, it takes 20 minutes to fully recharge, and then it gives you a range of 180 kilometers, basically. Yeah. Okay. And rightly said, it's a cross between a helicopter and a plane, but as more like a plane than a helicopter, basically. The safety factor is similar to a plane. Yeah.
So you're going to start with Bangalore when you get clearances. So tell us, what is the distance you're looking to cover? How soon you'll be able to do it? What is the plan? Which are the new cities you're hoping to expand to after Bangalore?
Right. So we all facing this problem in congestion in Bangalore. We live very much, right? I mean, it's need of the time right now. Currently, we will start our home ground as Bangalore. We'll start pilot test here. We'll do a couple of routes. Our initial plan, if you speak to Adrian, it's from Bangalore airport being a hub, and then a lot of spokes, that is being the 5-star hotels in the initial period, and then IT hubs, and then hospitals as well, and then slowly populate more helipads and then give you more possibility of different routes, actually, basically.
So give us an example, getting from point A to point B, how much time would it take on air versus what it would take on ground, and more importantly, how much is it going to cost?
For sure. So if you, there's a great example and a study that we have done from Bangalore airport to Electronic City. It's the most congested route, actually. Okay. Any premium ride-hailing service will charge you around 2,000 to 2,500, depends on which time you're booking it, and will take around 150 minutes to reach, whereas we will take 20 minutes with the same cost or even lesser. Okay. Yeah, so that's our disruptive idea, basically.
So how soon before we see these flying taxis in Bengaluru?
So this is a prototype that you see behind. We will start, there's another bird that we are building right now while we are talking, and that will take to sky, start testing in May, basically this year. And we will spend another 2 years testing it. While the certifications are there, we are speaking to DGCA and MOCA, and they are there with their initial drafts, and we will be 6 months away from global players like FAA or EASA. So when they release their type certificate, we will be almost there with that, basically.
Okay, so another 2 years before we actually see these.
So 28, late 28, early 29 is our commercial plan.
Okay, so currently, if you could show us, so this can seat about 6 passengers at a time. Right. Will it be manually operated or will it be remotely operated? How would it work?
No, it will not be remotely operated. When we are in operation commercially, we'll always have a pilot. Basically, we'll have a lot of pilots that we would have to transition into flying eVTOLs basically, so the huge demand will be there.
All right. A quick word on, the kind of range this will have. You gave us a sense of, 20 minutes of charge will give you 250. But what is the maximum range that this can have, and how long will the charging take?
So the range that I said was in 20 minutes, 160 kilometers, which will change because this is based on the current battery technology. We are aiming for 28 or 29 early. So by that time, we'll aim for 200 plus of range basically.
So Sarla Aviation's air taxi will fly commercially by 2028-2029. There is still time for us to sit in one of these flying taxis. But with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.
DBS presents Singapore Tripping with Rocky in association with CNBC-TV18. Welcome to Singapore Tripping with Rocky, brought to you by DBS Bank in association with CNBC-TV18. This is a show where we take you on a culinary adventure to Singapore. From street hawkers and markets that are bustling with people to Michelin-starred rated restaurants, a beautiful journey through all the culinary adventures that Singapore has to offer. This is a series where in every episode you're going to see different stories, you're going to see chefs, you're going to see cuisines that make Singapore what it is, the influences of Indian, Malay, Chinese, and just cutting edge stuff from all over the world that truly makes Singapore